no question about it that for us, natural gas represents a pretty transformative opportunity across the state. And the project that Robert and team are working on with Dominion and others would bring infrastructure through about 13 cities and counties in Virginia, culminating here in Hampton Roads. For many, it will be a game changer for Hampton Roads, for Southside Virginia, for Southwest Virginia, when we can boast of having ready, quick, easy access to natural gas. What that does in opening up the conversations for businesses expanding and for businesses coming to Virginia cannot be overstated. So we're grateful for your work. And I know we've got to do this right. We've got to respect assets we have in the tourism world and the environmental world and people's property rights, but make no mistake about it, we've got to do both. We've got to do all of the above, and if we miss this opportunity, North Carolina will send me a thank you note. Those are not the notes I want, so thank you for what you're doing. I want to thank Barry and team for all that you're doing, and thank everybody here. This is the shortest commute I've had to work, which is a good one. I live right here in Norfolk. Let me give you two or three things to think about, and then I'm going to get out of the way and let the main show begin. The first thing I wanted to say from the perspective of commerce and trade is that commerce and trade in Virginia is very good right now. If you look at what's happening around the state, we recently announced, maybe 2 weeks ago now, that Virginia's unemployment rate stands at about 4.5%. Well, 4.5% is the lowest Virginia's unemployment rate has been since September of 2008. It is the lowest by far of every state in the southeastern part of the United States, and it's the third lowest east of the Mississippi. And just for comparison purposes, our national unemployment rate right now is 5.1%. When we came into office in January of, what was that, 2012? No, 2014. That was another job, which I will not discuss today. Our unemployment rate was at 5.3%. So we are healthily rebounding all across the Commonwealth right now. We have an employment level across the Commonwealth at 3.82 million. That is one of the highest employment levels that the state has seen in its history. And in fact, at one point during the summer, we had reached that peak. I suspect we'll get back to that pretty soon. If you look at the economic development projects we've had, and I'm going to come back to this, but we've had 471 economic development projects announced since we took office 19 months ago, amounting to about $7.76 billion of investment in Virginia, amounting to a net plus 58,000 jobs since January of 2014. So, we're on a roll, but lest you get comfortable, let me tell you the other side of the coin. If you look at Virginia's employment roster, for lack of a better way of putting it, you will notice one thing in particular that jumps out. Well, maybe two things. First of all, you'll notice that the largest employer in the state by far is whom? Federal government, which part? Defense. And it's not even a close race. And Hampton Roads knows it as much as anyone. It's 45% of the economy here or more. It's 33% of the economy in Northern Virginia. The Defense Department is the largest employer in the state by far. By the way, they are double the size of the next largest employer, which is whom? Go ahead. Nope, not state government. Walmart, come on, you should all know this. That surprised me too. Defense is the largest. In addition to that, we are the largest recipient of federal defense procurement dollars by far in the country. $60 billion last year in defense contracts. You combine the employment, direct employment, with the employment that we are receiving from contracts from the Defense Department, and you get 45% of the economy here somehow connected. By the way, I should have said that largest employer and double number two is only if you look at the civilian employment. If you add active duty, the Defense Department is the largest employer in the state, and they're larger than the next 7 employers. If you look at the top 20 employers in the state, what you see is 13 of them are in the public sector. They're either defense or the Commerce Department or Homeland Security or Fairfax County Public Schools and a host of other public school systems and local governments. So the big challenge for us is far too much dependence on the public sector for this great growth that we've been getting. We estimate this year alone, due to simply contracting in defense spending, that Virginia will lose 22,000 jobs. Just this year, just from defense cutbacks. If we don't avert sequestration, which it looks like we will, but if we don't, no state will feel it the way Virginia has felt it. So amidst all of this really good news is the great risk of too much reliance, in particular on the Defense Department for our growth. Now, don't get me wrong, I want every dollar that defense has, right? But we need new customers for our products and services. And that's why we're here today. Let me go back to what I said, 470 economic development deals since January of 2014. 331 of them have been from business expansions. Existing businesses in the Commonwealth who are adding new lines of business, buying additional facilities within which to expand, going into another facility, building a greenfield expansion. The greatest opportunity for growth is growing the existing businesses that we have. We may talk more about these big projects that we land from foreign direct investment or from investment from some other state in the union, but the bottom line is the greatest growth in the Commonwealth comes from expansion of existing businesses. Well, one of the greatest opportunities for expansion of existing businesses is international trade. I don't want to steal the thunder of the study, but what you're going to hear is 85% plus of the consumer buying power in the world is outside of the U.S. I was telling an earlier group this morning that, and they said, "You mean North Carolina?" And I thought about that for a while, and I concluded, no, they're still within the country. But 85% of the growth opportunity for our existing businesses outside of the country. And for Virginia right now, we already export $36 billion of goods and services across the globe. That's manufactured goods, that's services like consulting and financial services. You're going to hear today that though we have even greater opportunity, we also have given the risk in the economy a real urgent call to get that opportunity. We need it for our businesses. We need it for our people who need good paying jobs. And by the way, the businesses who are involved in international trade pay higher wages and are more productive. Again, I bet not to steal too much of your thunder here. But business expansion is our #1 job growth strategy in the state. It is the one that is the most effective. It is the one that is the most efficient. Cost us way more money to attract a new business here as opposed to help an existing one grow. So that's why I'm glad we're here today talking about international trade, because we need to be the best at this. And to be the best at it means we need to have the best ecosystem that our companies need to actually do well in international markets. We need to be helping with strategy. We need to be helping with trade missions. We need to be helping with making contacts with folks who are not in the country, building relationships, basically. We need to be helping with marketing. That's what Vital is all about. That's why we're spending an additional $1 million on it. That's why we need every university in the state involved, every trade association from the business world involved, every company involved. The opportunity for us is now, and you can bet your last money every other state in the union is looking at this. Everybody has figured out that expansion is the more efficient tool for growth. So we need to be the first to get there. Right now, Canada is our largest trading partner. We send $3 billion of our products and services to Canada. Well, guess what? Last week, the governor and I were in Canada. We were in Toronto and we were in Montreal. And they love us in Canada. I sound like Donald Trump, right? They love us. Okay, don't quote me on that one. Where's Phil Walzer? But they do. It makes a difference to have something stamped made in America. It makes a difference. People will pay for it. We just need to get at it. We've been to China, we've been to Europe, we were in England, we were in France. All of these are markets. Germany is our 4th largest trading. I think it's, if I'm remembering correctly, it's Canada, China, Mexico, Germany, right now, our 4 largest trading partners. There's plenty of other opportunity. So we need to go for it. We're putting a big emphasis on it. We need every community in the Commonwealth to join us. So I thank you for being here. I thank Barry for what he's doing, and I look forward to hearing what the trade study tells us. You're up. Thank you all. I appreciate it.